She called the cops and screamed, "Arrest him!" Her voice echoed across the street like she was announcing a war. But I wasn't trespassing. I wasn't stealing. I wasn't breaking any law. I was standing on my own driveway on the same piece of land I worked my whole life to afford. My truck was parked right where it always was, in front of the house my daughter and I called home. From the window, I saw her small face pressed to the glass, her little hands clutching the curtain. She was crying, terrified, watching a stranger try to take away everything that was ours. And that stranger was no stranger at all. It was Karen, the one who always acted like she owned the entire neighborhood. She strutted into my yard waving a piece of paper like it was the Declaration of Independence. "This is HOA property," she shouted, her tone sharp enough to cut through steel. "Your car doesn't belong here. I've called security to tow it." The paper shook in her hand, but the arrogance in her eyes made it look like law. She wanted me to be afraid. She wanted me to crumble in front of my daughter and the neighbors who were peeking out from their blinds. But here's the truth. There was no HOA in this neighborhood. Never was. We never signed up for one. There were no meetings, no dues, no official letters. Karen made it up, crafted her own rules, and printed fake notices that looked real enough to fool anyone who didn't know better. She had taped one to my door that morning, telling me I had 24 hours to move my truck or further action would be taken. I should have ripped it up and laughed, but deep down, I knew Karen. She wasn't bluffing. She was the kind of person who would burn her own house down if it meant you'd choke on the smoke. So when I heard the roar of an engine and saw a black SUV pull up to the curb, my stomach tightened. The vehicle looked official, lights flashing on the dash, dark tinted windows. For a second, I thought maybe she had really called the police. But when the doors opened and two men stepped out, something felt wrong. Their uniforms were cheap, like costumes from a discount store. Their badges didn't shine. They looked like plastic toys. Karen clapped her hands like a queen, welcoming her knights. "Take it away," she barked, pointing at my truck. And without hesitation, one of the fake cops raised a metal bar and smashed the window. The glass exploded across my driveway, the sound so sharp it made my daughter scream inside the house. I froze. Every muscle in my body begged to move, to fight, to protect what was mine. My fists curled, my teeth ground together, my blood boiled. But I didn't lunge forward, not yet. Because if I did, Karen would win. She wanted me angry. She wanted me to strike first so she could point to the crowd and say, "See, he's violent." So I stayed still, quiet, watching. The man bent down, reaching through the broken glass, trying to hotwire the ignition like he'd done it 100 times before. Karen laughed, clapping like it was a performance for her entertainment. "Teach him a lesson," she shouted. But while she celebrated, I slipped my hand into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and tapped an app no one knew about. The screen lit up, and in one click, my hidden body cam came online. Every word, every smash, every fake badge, it was all streaming live. I whispered to myself, low and steady so only I could hear, "Now it's your turn." And I waited because the game had just started.